the Florida Podcast Network, the voice of Florida. This is episode 4B of the Finding Florida podcast on the Florida Podcast Network. Join us as we take you around the state in one day.
Welcome to Finding Florida, the podcast that takes you from country to the coast. Join your tour guides, an unlikely pair, city girl Jemmy and country boy Glenn, as they explore the amazing sights and sounds of the Sunshine State.
Last month, we took you with us as we rode the wheels of Daytona Beach. If you missed it, go back and take a listen to episodes 3A and 3B. This month, we take you on a tour of Florida, all in one day.
If you missed episode 4A, we gave you a bit of a heads up on how this episode is going to work. We spoke with the head of Visit Florida and shared with you some of the more interesting news stories from the last month in the Sunshine State.
Just wasn't ready for summer to end. So I got the gang to head to Florida. Still summer here.
All right, so we are at the Broward County Convention Center. Super excited for Florida Huddle. Oh my gosh.
That's Fort Lauderdale for anybody who doesn't know.
Yeah, Broward County is Fort Lauderdale. And
I didn't know till I got here.
So we're excited because this is Florida Huddle, and essentially it's put on by Visit Florida. And Visit Florida is the big travel and tourism board in Florida. And so for them to be putting on a convention in Fort Lauderdale that they allowed us to attend, it's really awesome. And this couldn't have come at a better time because, as you know from the last episode, somebody broke his ribs. So we needed a little bit of a break from the actual adventure stuff. So in this episode, we're actually going to be taking you on a tour of Florida in one day. By meeting with different visitor bureaus.
And I shouldn't break anything, actually. I should be fine today.
Even though I'm the one who almost fell twice on escalators. So at least everyone knows if anything's broken, it's probably mine and it's on me.
Now, we're going to get to meet with a whole bunch of the different tourist people from around the state. We're going to learn about different areas, and a lot of them are a lot of fun. We talked to them last night at the party.
Oh, my gosh. Last night's party was a lot of fun. We're excited for official day one.
Plus, we're going to be chatting with some other people along the way here today,
I have a feeling we
always do.
You know what's really impressive is how many international accents we've already noticed around here. And so there are people from all over that are being attracted to Florida Huddle.
20 countries.
Yeah, to learn about travel and tourism opportunities in Florida, which, as you know, is our whole point.
That's right. So basically, this is a travel conference where vendors get together, and also the media is here, and we have our own media room, so we're going to be interviewing our people in there. And also, one of the cool things that happened last night is right across the street from my hotel is Bill Gates' yacht. Unfreaking believable.
Stop it.
His yacht is huge.
No way.
Like
I doubt he's on it. He's probably not even on it and paying $1 gajillion every day.
I talked to a guy who works at another yacht who said he comes about 1 week a year. And this yacht's $50 million.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I'll rent it, Bill Gates, for the rest of the year.
The one he worked on had 9 bedrooms and rented for, I think it was $70,000 a week or $270,000 a week or something. It's crazy.
That's chunk change. I'll rent it next week. It'll be fine.
So that's what we're doing today. It's going to be a whole bunch of quick interviews. Think Twitter style today.
Exactly.
Yep. Twitter's short and sweet, and we're going to take you on a tour of the state of Florida, and we're going to have a little fun along the way.
Yeah.
And we start our tour of Florida on the left side of the state. That is the southern Gulf Coast. We will work our way up the Gulf Coast and cut across the state in northern Florida to the Atlantic side, with several stops on our way down the Atlantic coast to end this virtual road trip in Key West. And the first stop is Punta Gorda, right above Cape Coral or Fort Myers and Pine Island, Sanibel Island, just north of all of those on the Gulf Coast.
Was first explored in the 16th century. It's a fabulous city with a revitalized downtown full of historic murals. They speak to the area's history and charm. Located just half an hour from Fort Myers, it's popular with birds, manatees, dolphin, and tarpon, not just people who love to come here for vacation.
Now we are south of Sarasota, north of Fort Myers on the Gulf Coast in Punta Gorda and Englewood Beach. And we have Jennifer here with us. Hi, Jennifer.
Hello.
So now this is an area of the state that not a lot of people know about. And if you're heading down to Fort Myers, you kind of pass it. and you don't stop, right? And
if you're on 75.
Yeah,
yes.
you just go right by it and you see the exit signs and nobody stops. So why should people stop?
Well, you should stop because it's probably a new destination for you. The Englewood Beach area is home to several barrier islands. Some are only accessible by boat. First off, to the north is Minnesota Key. There is a bridge you can take out there. There's a wonderful beach called Englewood Beach out there, the main beach. Every morning there's free or yoga by donation, so to say. Morning yoga, yeah.
Okay, you get to do that when we're there. I'm not that flexible, so that's all yours.
That's the whole challenge, is see if Glenn, how many positions Glenn can actually pull off.
One.
But it's a great way to start the day, doing a little yoga stretching out by the beach. And
that would be the end of my day.
Okay. Well, if you're there on a Sunday, they have the drum circle, like many beaches do. There's a drum circle, and people can bring their drums.
Okay, explain that, because I think we haven't talked about that before.
You haven't talked about drum circles? Oh, well, it seems to be a Florida tradition. Maybe about an hour before sunset, people will gather at certain beaches, and some people will bring their drums. At Englewood Beach, there's a community who brings their drums. People will bring hula hoops and whatever else. They're free spirit, I guess you can say.
Do we have to wear tie-dye for that?
No, tie-dye is optional.
Okay.
I actually have a pair of bongos and a djembe.
Oh.
I love myself a drum circle. He doesn't know this yet. I love drum circles. I have been doing them since college age, I guess.
Oh, wow, you're expert.
And so I'm a big fan. I will totally come and do some.
We're going to have to do
drum
my
circles.
first drum circle at your place.
Drum circle, absolutely. But then as the sun is setting, there's like this big crescendo, and then, they just totally end it with a bang, pun intended.
Right.
Yes. And then they blow a horse conch, to signal the setting sun. So it's a nice tradition. But then further south of that...
Are there adult beverages involved in the drum circle?
Or other things.
I kind of was figuring that.
Only if you wish. There are some great bars across the street.
What happens in the drum circle stays in the drum circle.
Exactly. But further down the road, what you might want to do before the drum circle is take a walk down Stump Pass Beach State Park. It's about a mile long. And at the end, there are these, I call them tree skeletons. They're actually trees, but they've been bleached out by the sun, and they're dead, and by the salt water and whatnot. But some people believe that if you take a seashell that has a hole in it, make a wish, and then place it on one of these trees, that your wish will come true. So when you walk down there, you see all these trees with different seashells down there representing people's wishes. So we've been recognized as like a healthy place to retire because we have a lot of outdoor activities to offer. There's about 200 miles of Blueway trails for kayaking and canoeing. Downtown Punta Gorda has the Harbor Walk, which is pedestrian and bicycle-friendly area. We have free bicycle rentals. We're the first city in the country, in Florida, to actually offer the free bicycle rentals, 2009. So it's nice just to hop on a bike and go out and explore, pedal along the Peace River, go down to Fisherman's Village where they have restaurants and shops down there, and they're all independently owned. There's boat tours that are offered there. There's fishing charters. There's also great bird watching in the destination as well. We're on we have 7 paths in the Great Florida Birding Trail. And this time of year in January, we're on the flight path for a lot of the migratory birds who are coming down from the Midwest and even from the West and the Northeast. Interestingly, we have white pelicans, which is not the interesting point, but the interesting point is that they migrate down from the Grand Teton National Park in Wyoming.
I didn't know they went that far north.
They do go this far.
You always think of pelicans as being something that they just stay here, right? I mean, yeah.
No, back in the
I
summertime,
didn't know that.
Around April, the white pelicans will go back to Wyoming, and they come down here. Like some people have it timed. They say, "Oh yeah, it's like October 15th. The pelicans are coming down," but it's not that specific or so. But yeah, October, November time frame, just depending how the weather is, they'll make their way this way, and then they head down, and they really need to watch compared to a brown pelican because they feed differently. Brown pelicans will dive for their food, while white pelican will already be in the water, and they hunt in a group. They'll circle their prey together, and it's really fascinating.
Kind of sounds like Punta Gorda is a bit of a nature lover's dream.
Yeah.
I mean, bird watching, trails,
Yep.
the beach shells, all that stuff.
Well, where can people find more about you guys?
PureFlorida.com.
PureFlorida.com. And now we head up Route 75 along the Gulf Coast, heading north past Sarasota and make a left into Bradenton.
So we're sitting here now with Casera, and she is from Bradenton, which we were a little bit of fuzzy. It's exactly where Bradenton was, and we're kind of arguing on the way up here. We know that. We had to start. It is in Florida. We can confirm. So Casera, tell us all about Bradenton, starting with where the heck is it?
So we are the Bradenton area. We are actually, our tagline is Florida's West Coast. We are about 45 minutes south of Tampa, right south of St. Pete. You just a quick jump right over the Skyway Bridge if you're not scared of bridges.
Well, we just established Glenn is very scared of bridges. So yeah, because that's safer.
Very quick drive if you're going to go over the bridge. If you're swimming, I'm not 100% sure how long it takes.
You take no responsibility for that recommendation.
That's on you. But the Bradenton area is great. We're actually made up of 3 different parts. We're Bradenton, which is kind of the mainland area, and then we also have Anna Maria Island and Longboat Key.
Ooh.
We're probably most well known for Anna Maria Island, which is kind of funny because it's definitely the smallest part of the Bradenton area. It is only a 7-mile long island, and it's only 1 mile wide at the widest point.
Oh, wow.
So it's very small.
Why is it popular?
Because it's beautiful. You get sugar white sand beaches.
Oh, I love that. Like the powdery.
Yes.
Oh, I love
it's
that.
So soft.
I can feel it between my toes right now.
It is. Okay, so that's a great way to describe it. A lot of people have heard of Siesta Key.
Yeah,
we are just like Siesta Key.
Beach.
Anna Maria Island's better because
yeah, she's going to argue with you.
we have the crystal blue waters and the white sugar sands. We have like a high rise building code, so you can't build higher than 3 stories. So you can see we have this one road that goes down the middle of the island. You can see the beach.
So everything has a great view.
Everything, it's beautiful, and we're Siesta Key minus the high rises and the people. Like since we are, so not a lot of people know about us.
Are we talking to them next? Because I don't want to.
I don't think they're on our schedule. Sorry if we're talking to you in advance, though. I don't know.
we're kind of an undiscovered gem over here with the beaches and the beautiful, like the sky when the sun sets. You get purples and pinks. I've never seen a sunset like it.
Are there a lot of residents there, or is it mostly tourists that populate the island?
It is. We do have a lot of tourists, and like I said, since we don't have any high rises, that means we don't have any major hotels. So the majority.
Oh, that's true.
The majority of the rentals are vacation rental homes. So we do have a lot.
Airbnb and all that.
Exactly, and we have a lot of people that will come and live for a couple months and then rent out their house for another couple of months.
Right. That makes sense.
It's a good mix of what we have on the
What's there to do?
Oh my gosh, there's so much. So, if you don't want to just spend your days relaxing on the beautiful beaches,
I mean, God forbid.
Right? If you just have to go, we have tons of nature parks. And we also, if you are brave and you want to venture into the mainland, we have an amazing museum. It's called the South Florida Museum. But it's kind of a 3-in-1 because there's the museum, which is great, like historical and very cultural, but then there's also a state-of-the-art digital 360-degree planetarium. And then
you're speaking my language, girl.
We also have an aquarium, which is a second-stage manatee rehabilitation center.
Oh, wow.
So, because we get a lot of injured manatees in Florida just because, it's boat propellers.
Of course,
mainly,
yeah.
And people don't know how to, interact with them. So at the South Florida Museum, the Manatee Rehabilitation Center, we have manatees there, but it also kind of teaches people, what to do if you encounter a manatee in the wild, things like that.
We just visited Manatee Lagoon down in Palm Beach County, and so we talked a lot about manatees and all of that stuff.
So and we're Manatee County, so we do get manatees there, but we also have tons of other stuff to do as well. Our Village of the Arts is the largest live-work artist community in Florida. So you have all of these different artists. So they have their galleries, there's restaurants, and they're all independent, but they're all within this couple-mile radius, so you can walk and you can visit the different galleries. They're all so different and really unique. And then one of my personal favorite things to do, which I've never heard of it anywhere else, is horse surfing. So this
looks so amazing. Oh my gosh.
I had not heard of it until I started working
Wow.
for the Bradenton Area Convention Center. But you actually will ride your horses along the beach, and then they actually go into the water, and you can ski, which is where you hold onto their tails, and they're swimming.
Stop it.
And then you can also
surf
on them, where you stand on their back.
This sounds completely made up and magical.
Magically, yes, made up. I promise it's not. It is something that is super awesome, and that actually takes place in our little Palmasola Bay area that we have. So it's a really nice area.
So the water's calm.
The water's much calmer.
Wow.
Yeah, it's warm pretty much all the time. But
It's a favorite destination. I also do the Horse Radio Network, and it's a favorite destination for horse people to go down and do that.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Anytime we get travel writers, we always try to send them, just because it's such a unique and cool experience that you're not going to get.
I feel like if you're going to be calling yourself a horse person, there's certain things you need to check off. And that seems like that's got to be something you check off.
Riding in the ocean is one of them.
I mean, my gosh.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something you can't really do that anywhere.
No.
Just
And a lot
even
of places
riding
don't
it.
allow it.
Right, exactly.
And you're not, how far from Ocala would you say this is?
That's
Like,
2 hours.
yeah,
2.5
so
maybe.
Ocala horse people.
But there's a lot of horse people in
Palmasola
Sarasota
Bay.
too that come up and actually do it there.
Yeah. So, and we're a really good location for it. Like I said, it's right on the Palmasola Bay, so it's beautiful. And the horses are all they like doing it, because that's a question we get sometimes.
Yeah.
Don't like water,
Playing.
but they love it, and it is awesome. So that's one of my
So there are
absolute
vendors
favorite
people
things.
can actually rent or go out with the group.
Yeah, it's
That's so cool.
beach horses is actually what they're called.
Okay.
And
There you go.
so
Beach
super
horses.
easy.
See, it's all about branding. Say exactly what you are.
And that's exactly what they are, and that's exactly what they do. So, and they have a bunch of different horses too, and it's not for only horse people. Like, if you've never ridden a horse before,
Yeah, because
that's
if you
fine
fall
too.
off, you're not
In the
gonna
water.
hurt yourself.
Exactly. It's actually a really good selling point for the first time rider, like I pretty much am still. So thank you, Casera, so much for giving us a little bit of an inside look at Bradenton. It sounds like, okay, now I'm a little bit embarrassed. I didn't know where it was, but we're definitely putting it on our list of a place to go in the very, very near future for Finding Florida. Thank you so
Perfect.
much.
It was my pleasure. Can't wait to have you guys.
And now Jemmy takes the wheel and I hide under the seat as we get on 275 North and head over the 4-mile-long Sunshine Skyway Bridge. The Travel Channel rated the Sunshine Skyway Bridge number 3 in its special on the top 10 bridges in the world. And I will crawl out from under the seat as we go over the bridge and pass through St. Petersburg on our way to Tampa Bay.
It's really cool to see the whole city transformed. Everybody's in the party mode. Everybody's in the adventure mode. Thousands and thousands and thousands of people come from all over the world to see this event.
Welcome to Gasparillo's 2017!
We are here with Kevin now, and we're making our way to the Gulf Coast over to Tampa Bay, and you're with Visit Tampa Bay, right?
That is correct.
So now tell us a little bit about Tampa Bay. It's an interesting area because it comprises a couple of different areas, actually, in one.
Correct, and our portion of it that we focus on is Hillsborough County and the city of Tampa and the immediate environs there. And the thing that we like to tell people about Tampa Bay is that you can travel the entire state of Florida to experience Florida, or you can just come to Tampa. We have everything you want in a Florida vacation. If you want roller coasters, we have Busch Gardens. We have almost 5 miles of roller coasters at Busch Gardens.
I won't be on any of them.
Oh, you're missing out. You're missing out.
She just got done at Legoland, which isn't too far away.
Legoland.
Legoland.
I did the dragon roller coaster. That's about as far as I can get.
All right, we won't put you on Falcon's Fury then, because that's
No, they have some
300
big
and
roller
some
coasters
feet
there.
straight down. Yeah, you don't want to do that. So we do have a new one coming actually this summer to the zoo. So maybe that's
really?
your speed, Jamie. Maybe that's your
We'll
speed.
see. We'll see.
Tell us about the zoo.
The Tampa's Lowry Park Zoo has. It's a great family destination. Obviously, you can feed giraffes by hand there. You can feed a rhinoceros. They just started that.
Yeah, you're definitely
year.
talking my language now.
Yeah, the rhinoceros is interesting. It's a big mouth coming at you, and their dental hygiene is not the best. But it's a really cool experience to see one of those animals up that close. I mean, it's amazing. We have the Australia section of the zoo is really kid-friendly. They have a little tiger, Tasmanian tiger, I think it's called, roller coaster. When my kids were young, my younger son, he's 10, 11 now, he was a tiny roller coaster junkie, and I rode that roller coaster. I would ride it over and over until I was ready to barf. He was still going strong. But this year, in the next couple months, we're going to be opening Roaring Springs, which is a water ride at the zoo. And it looks fantastic. I haven't had a chance to get on it yet. It's not done, but it looks like it's going to be fantastic. One of the other cool things that we have in Tampa that people may be aware of is Gasparilla and our history of pirates in Tampa. Yeah, Tampa Bay is full of pirates. Of course, our football team is the Buccaneers. And every year in January, at the end of the month, we have Gasparilla, which is a pirate-themed Mardi Gras, you could call it.
No alcohol consumed at all in that event.
Any flashing?
No.
How close to Mardi Gras does it really get?
I'm going to withhold any comment on that. So Gasparilla,
Kevin has never flashed.
That is true.
And I never flashed when I lived in New Orleans ever, not once.
So we have one of the country's only fully functioning pirate ship. It's
really cool too.
It's super cool. It sits downtown, right in the middle of the city, most of the year. And then for Gasparilla, they take it out, they fix it up, they hang it with sails and flags, and about 500 guys in pirate costumes get on it and sail it into town with the cannons blazing. It's an incredible spectacle. And then they set off the third largest parade in the country down Bayshore Boulevard. It's absolutely amazing.
Around what time of year is the Pirate Festival?
It's the last weekend in January. So a couple years ago, it was my birthday.
Let's go.
I know.
I got 2 years ago. I got to do it on my birthday, which was quite the experience. Yeah.
Nice. Well, happy early birthday, I'm guessing, right? Happy early birthday.
I appreciate that.
I want to talk a little bit about the food because we haven't talked a lot about that with the other places, but you guys have great restaurants and microbreweries and I've spent a lot of time in Tampa and I've eaten a lot of it in Tampa. So you really do, and it's on the waterfront too. So there's a lot of waterfront restaurants. It's just really cool that way.
A couple of things that people always love: the Columbia, which is the oldest restaurant in Florida. Yeah. It's in Ybor City. It is the world's biggest Spanish restaurant. The menu is sort of classic Spanish and Cuban food.
Has it been open continuously since it's...
It has.
Really?
It's been open continuously under the same family since 1905.
No kidding.
The Gonsmart family, they're in their 5th generation of owning the restaurant.
Well, none of them have to guess what they're doing when they grow up.
Yeah, indeed. So they... It's the oldest restaurant in Florida. It's a fantastic place. It's booked solid all the time. It's about 1,700 seats, and it's really cool. Inside, it's broken up into different rooms and different sort of styles. They do flamenco there in the evening, 6 days a week. You can go have dinner in a flamenco show, which is absolutely amazing. So the Columbia is a great one. We also downtown have the Sail Pavilion, which sits right on the water. It's a great place for people watching. It's on the Riverwalk. It is, last year it was ranked #1 dog-friendly restaurant in the country. People come up there and, park with their dogs all the time. And it's great for people watching. It's my favorite place to go and just sit down and watch the spectacle of life. So Tampa is a place to come, loosen your belt when you come to Tampa.
What's the website?
Our website is visittampabay.com.
And now we get in the car and head a couple hours north along the coast into the Panhandle to Panama City.
If you're looking for an affordable family vacation, welcome to Panama City Beach. It boasts 27 miles of white sugar sand beaches, and there are affordable family attractions on every single corner.
So we have made it over to visit Jaina, and she is from Panama City Beach, and she just got talking to us about so many different fun things. They are working on a Make It Yours campaign that really sounds like they're allowed to set the tone of your own visit to Panama City Beach and go on different tracks. So tell us a little bit about the Make It Yours campaign.
We are known as the Real Fun Beach, and this year we launched a whole campaign for our visitors to really make it theirs, so they can choose a different adventure when they reach our destination. So many of our visitors are thrill seekers or adventure seekers or adrenaline junkies these days, and in Panama City Beach we've got you taken care of. So you can go on an adrenaline jet ski tour or ride go-karts or bungee jump. One of the new things is airboat rides out in the West Bay. So whatever you're looking for, we've got you covered.
You know, it's funny. I've always only associated airboat rides with the Everglades. And when we were at this, swamps. Yes. When we were at the Science Center yesterday, we did the fake airboat ride, the simulated one and stuff. So you actually get to go on the airboat from Panama City Beach.
You do. You go out to West Bay, which is a really short drive, not even 10 minutes. And so you go back in West Bay, and they know all the great locations where the alligators hide out. And it's very nature-based, too. And in addition to being, a thrill seeker's delight, you definitely get up close and personal with nature out there as well.
What's your favorite thing to do?
My favorite thing to do, because I grew up vacationing in Panama City Beach. I grew up in Alabama. We came every year, and my family we're all about beach and, hanging out. But I discovered after I moved there, Shell Island, which is our natural, beautiful island, which you can only get there by boat or jet ski. And so it is a hidden gem, in my opinion, because it's only a 10-minute boat ride away. And when you get out there, you are in the most gorgeous, secluded area of Panama City Beach. And you always see something amazing.
So for people with kids and small children, what are some more family-oriented things that they can do in Panama City Beach?
Well, there's always something fun going on. So we're also known for our real fun events. If you come in March, we have, or February, we have Mardi Gras. If you're here in October, we have a Pirates Fest. New Year's Eve, we have a beach ball drop. So we have real fun events. But again,
beach ball drop, I like that.
But again, our attractions and amenities are so family friendly. We have amusement parks, go-karts, Goofy Golf. We have the original Goofy Golf from 50 years ago. So, whatever you're seeking as a family, there's always something fun to do.
And what's the website?
The website is visitpanamacitybeach.com.
And now Route 20 east toward the Georgia line brings us to the capital of Florida, Tallahassee. And we have Megan here. She's with Visit Florida. Visit Florida is actually located in Tallahassee, right?
It is, yeah. We are a quasi-government organization, and so we are very close with the governor's office, and being in Tallahassee really helps.
Yes, people, the capital of Florida is not Orlando.
No, it's not Orlando. It's not Miami.
It's not Tampa.
It's funny. A lot of people that aren't from Florida, granted, you learn all of your capitals.
Right.
But they just don't realize, or they don't know why it is.
It's not.
I really don't know why it's in Tallahassee.
It's been that way for quite some time. But Tallahassee's very charming, and if you can't tell from my accent, we have a lot of Southern influence, and we're very close to.
It's close to Georgia.
Yeah. Well, they say that about Florida. You have to go north to go south, and so there you go.
I tell people that all of the time because working with Visit Florida, people ask me all the time, oh, but you're not from Florida. You represent Florida, but you live there now. And I'm like, no, I was born and raised in Florida.
No, native Floridians sound like her. It's all of us.
all of the people.
You're born elsewhere. We're the imports here, not you.
Yeah, I feel like there aren't that many people compared to some other states that can say that they were born and raised in Florida.
it's always a surprise.
What percentage of people are born and raised in Florida? That would be a good citizen.
Yeah, and I think what happens is people come here as a child on a vacation, or maybe it's the adults who come and they bring their children, then they're like, I never want to leave. And there's actually a PR representative from the Keys who did that same thing. She came down to the Keys in college, and she basically called her mom, and she's like, I'm not coming home.
Don't blame her.
All right. She hit 12 bars and never left. Yeah. Let's talk about Tallahassee. We've never talked about Tallahassee.
No, not yet. I know. It's the capital. Yeah, we
That's all we know. Is the governor lives there, and that's better. And you, apparently.
I know,
so.
Yeah, and me. Me and the governor. That's it.
That's
There's
it. No one else. Publix is always empty. No lines at Publix.
That's right.
No, that is not true. We love Publix in Tallahassee. If nothing else, we love Publix. Yeah, so Tallahassee really has a very charming, small-town southern vibe. We have beautiful canopy roads, and that's what usually gets us in trouble whenever there's any bad weather.
Oh, I'm sure that
we're protected.
To somebody not native.
Okay, so we have these very, very large trees that kind of come together over our roads.
So they're on either side, and they just grow over.
They grow together in like a canopy, and so the roads are beautiful. We're very protective of our trees. We don't want anyone to cut them down or touch them, just because it adds to that charm and the beauty of the town. And so that's part of it. We're obviously very political, and that's where the capital is.
Well, right,
naturally.
There's a few lawyers in town.
Yeah, absolutely. And so that kind of lends to the excitement, especially when session has started, which actually it started this week, yesterday.
Oh, so there's now a buzz in Tallahassee.
Yeah, there's a buzz. There's a buzz in Tallahassee. So very southern, kind of charm, I guess you could say.
What are your favorite things to do as a local in Tallahassee?
Well, I live next to a park, and I know that's just this kind of a silly thing. It's just a park. It's called Tom Brown Park, but I have a dog, and so I like to take my dog to the park.
Oh, yeah.
We actually have a few breweries, kind of a small place, but we have a few breweries that are fun to go to. One of my favorite places is called Proof, and they have cornhole outside.
Oh, fun!
Yeah, and they have all of the lights out. It's just a really fun atmosphere.
So when you go to a place called Proof, are you really just asking to get seriously drunk?
No. They're the same proof as any other type of beer, I promise. They're not any higher than anything else. But my favorite is called Mango Wit.
Ooh.
It's very yummy. And so, I think that we definitely live a more laid-back, slower-paced lifestyle in Tallahassee. I wouldn't say that, we're not a huge...
More like the South.
Yeah, with their canopy trees, slower lifestyle.
Yeah.
Everything.
We have this little country store called Bradley's Country Store where they make their own sausage, and it literally is just kind of out in the woods, small little place, and it is very, very popular, and
wow.
They have little festivals and things that you can go out to, and so I would say it's definitely a southern type of town.
So you mentioned you have a dog. Is Tallahassee a very dog-friendly town?
And you can take your dog to Proof.
No way! Do they have like their own little doggy bowls with their own special doggy brew, non-alcoholic doggy brew?
Yeah, water. But they still have just as much fun. So yeah, it's a very dog-friendly place. People take their dogs everywhere, including Publix. They're in the purse, but yeah, we have a very kind of community vibe. People take their dogs places. There's a very family-friendly type of place. We have this beautiful park that's pretty new called Cascades. Beautiful walking paths. There's a little water pad for kids. People are always out running and biking and rollerblading, which is apparently a thing again. And then we have a little amphitheater there. So they have concerts.
The 90s are back.
Yeah, I know, right?
Scrunchies.
Yeah, there you go. Tie-dye shirts and all that. So, one thing we didn't ask Ken was, so Visit Florida, if someone wants to come and literally visit Florida, is Visit Florida's website or the other visit websites for the different bureaus, are those good places to get information on different attractions and stuff?
Absolutely. VisitFlorida.com is a place that you can go for travel inspiration and also to help you plan. So one of my favorite tools on VisitFlorida.com is called the Attractions Finder. So it's this really cool thing. There are 4 different options where you basically, it's a tuner. You move something to where you're looking for an attraction that's more adventurous or more calm. And then there's another one that, do you want a family-friendly attraction or is this an adult's getaway? And then you tune those 4 options that are based on your personality and what you're looking for.
That is so cool.
And it populates the best attraction for you.
Oh, I love that.
Is there a category for I want to break my ribs on this adventure? Where can I go?
I think you can find that somewhere under
adventure, maybe.
Adventure dial all the way up.
Yeah. I'm gonna say that's
Do you have a list of the best hospitals in Florida? Because apparently I need those
all
too.
the way down.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we also have a beach finder that's the same concept.
Oh,
cool. Where you can put in where you want something that's more secluded. Or do you want a lot of people? Are you looking for a party beach or are you looking for a family beach? And so
because we have all kinds of different beaches in Florida.
Yeah, and it populates all of these options for you that fit your personality and what you're looking for. And so you can kind of go from there and you can pick the attractions that are perfect, the beaches that are perfect. Hopefully they're within good driving distance. and you can kind of build out your vacation that way. So I think that that's an excellent tool. And then all of our partners, so visit Tampa Bay and the Keys.
Daytona Beach was great for our last episode.
Yeah, absolutely. Going on all of their websites and seeing what they recommend, because the people who are building these websites, they're locals.
Right.
They know what information to put on there. They know where you should be going. So, I'm always exploring new places in Florida.
Well, Megan, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Delightful. Thanks.
Yeah, I hope that everyone listening will come and visit Florida and do some unique things and make their own Florida experiences and have those memories and then probably move here because they love it so much.
And then share those memories all over social media with hashtag #LoveFL.
Yes, because there's nothing not to love about it.
Well, I am with Melissa now, and this is our random find.
It is, and we're so glad we found her.
Yes, we always have a random find of somebody that is absolutely the most fun person we found all day, and you were it yesterday.
That's awesome.
You were it. And you're with this Seminole tribe of Florida. It's the Billy Swamp Safari.
Yes.
So tell us, first of all, the Seminole tribe has a reservation in Central Florida, right? South Central?
The Seminole tribe has several reservations in Florida. One of them is the Big Cypress Seminole Indian Reservation. It is central. It's under Lake Okeechobee. It's an hour from Fort Lauderdale, an hour and a half from Naples, and about an hour and 20 minutes from Miami.
So it's right in the middle.
We're right in the middle. We're about an hour from wherever you are.
So tell us what happens there, and what can people, if they go there, what can they see?
Well, you can venture off your city and go into the Seminole Reservation. You go down Alligator Alley if you're coming from Fort Lauderdale area, or Alligator Alley if you're coming from Naples. And you go to Snake Road, and once you take Snake Road into the reservation, you're on Gator Tail Trail.
Wait a minute. Okay. Alligator Alley to Snake Road to Gator Tail Trail.
That's right.
This sounds not very safe.
That's where your adventure is going to begin.
Oh, I guess.
Okay.
That used to be
we'll see.
Directions you used to get from somebody before GPS. Turn left at the big
at the gator.
Yeah, at the gator, at the big tree in the corner of Snake Road.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't touch a gator though. Can we say anything with a mouth could bite?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, especially you're down approaching Everglades. Anything with a mouth will bite.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You have a story. We're going to actually ask you about that here in a second. But first, tell us what they can do there.
So the first thing I recommend is learning about the Seminole story, because that's what's relevant. That's why we're on the reservation. And you stop by the Athathaki Museum. That means a place to learn, a place to remember. At the museum, you learn about the Seminoles' culture and history, and some of our best treasures are kept there.
And you've been part of the tribe for how long now?
23 years.
Wow. What is being part of the tribe given to you personally in your own life, and how has it enriched you? Yeah.
Well, we do have a place on the reservation. My other half is a Seminole, but that's only something recent. But to answer your question, I've been with the tribe so long, but every day I learn something new, because I'm not a native tribal member. I'm a native to Florida, but it's a different culture.
And you guys do offer airboat rides and swamp buggies, and you have a native village, so you have all of those things available there too. So this is really a day stop.
It's a total day stop. Once you pass through the museum and learn where you are, then you can have lunch at the Swampwater Cafe, beautiful scenes of the swamp and airboats driving by, and then hop on an airboat ride and glide through different ecosystems and bounce on a swamp buggy. It's about an hour-long excursion into our preserve.
I see there's also a venomous snake show.
Yes.
I've seen venomous snakes do a feeding. Is that what it is? Is it a feeding show, or what do they do with them?
It's more of an educational presentation. We feature...
Have you stick out your arm?
Education by direct contact.
Hopefully we
Hospitals
won't have to
nearby.
We won't have to call Venom 1. So that hasn't happened yet under my watch. Knock on wood.
Because we're coming to visit, and I really don't want to see that.
Yes.
Hey, that sounds like a challenge to me, Glenn.
That happened to an individual on the alley. They stopped and were looking at the views, and they got bit by a cottonmouth.
Oh, that's not good.
So just watch where you're walking at all
Oh,
times.
man.
Yeah,
oh, man. That's scary.
It didn't happen at our park, though.
Good. So this truly is, with everything you have to do there, what is the native village? Do you actually get to see them making canoes and doing all the things that
Yes, there are 2 native villages, one at the museum and one at Safari.
How far back in the history of the tribe are you guys able to go that you know all the stories and all the history? How far back can you actually trace
in Florida,
that?
Yeah.
Well, in Florida, if you know anything about the Seminole story, is they evaded the troops from extinction. And they're the only tribe that has never signed a peace treaty, so they're a sovereign nation. I know that many skirmishes and wars happened in the 1800s, right here where we were. At Billy Swamp Safari, you can go out and see where Abiaka, which is Sam Jones, he was a very powerful medicine man, led his people right past the troops, and they were able to save them when otherwise they would have been transported to the Trail of Tears.
Wow, that's a powerful story. I can't wait for us to come and really experience it firsthand. I know we're planning a future trip over to see you, so we're very excited about that and looking forward to it.
We're very excited too.
All right, I'm going to ask you, because you just told us a story we don't hear very often. Yeah. All right, so, and there's a good end to this, so I'm going to start there. So. All right, or I wouldn't be telling this story right now, so Go ahead.
Like I mentioned, every tour is different at our park, and it's a wildlife area. It's the Big Cypress Reservation right next to the Big Cypress Reserve. And we have a wildlife problem sometimes, too much wildlife, and we're blessed because one of the most endangered species on Earth are plentiful here, and it's the Florida panther. My dog was attacked by a Florida panther.
Okay, what's your dog first? What kind of dog?
My dog, she's actually called a hippo, which is a Basset Shar-Pei.
Oh, jeez. Do they have Basset legs?
She's a low rider.
Okay, good. There isn't any running away from the panther is what I was thinking.
She's very mobile, and she has extra skin because of the Shar-Pei in her.
Oh.
So there's no running, but she's very crafty, and
she figures her way around.
Oh. Yeah.
So she got attacked?
She got attacked. She had 50 stitches.
Oh, wow.
Where was she that she got attacked?
On our patio.
On our patio.
Yes.
Wow.
The
so it was
panther
right there.
came right from the patio?
Yes.
Yeah.
And Grandma was outside.
The chills just now.
Yes. Grandma's a nightlife kind of person, so she's up at night, and she must have went to bed about 3:30. And when the nurse came at 7, it had already happened.
So what do you think stopped the panther from finishing?
We believe it was a juvenile, and Kuda, she's a machine, and she just fought her way.
Wow, that's impressive.
The panther needed some stitches too, you think?
I think the other guy may have had some wounds as well. Yes.
There you go. There you go.
Wow, that's a story that you don't hear every day.
We're very blessed that she made it, because there's a lot of animals that didn't make it. Inside Safari, there was a small donkey who was attacked. And her name's Rainbow, and we saw her out in the preserve, and she had puncture wounds on her muzzle. And we brought her in, and we nursed her, and this happened in October, and finally all the wounds are healed, and she had flank scratches down their sides, and she was a mess. So if they're big enough to go over, after large animals, the smaller animals really are at risk.
It's a lucky girl, that dog of
She's
yours.
a very lucky
oh my
girl.
Gosh.
Yes.
Good for her.
Well, I'm glad that everybody's okay, and I didn't realize that the panthers were that prevalent down there.
They are very prevalent. I've seen a couple. So it's
yourself, you've seen them with your own. Oh my gosh!
I thought it was a cow on the side of the road, like a small calf, and then when it crossed in front of me, I saw the long swooping tail.
Wow!
I knew that it was a panther.
Wow!
That gives you chills, huh?
And it was not collared.
Which means
Florida has a conservation program where they collar the panthers and they count them.
So it's not being tracked.
So this one was not tracked.
Yeah. Wow. Oh no.
What's the website where everybody can find it?
SwampSafari.com.
SwampSafari.com, and we're coming. We're going to spend a whole day there, and we're gonna see everything there is to see. We're going to have fun there. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
You don't have to wear any panther repellent.
I was just going to ask, do I need like body armor or what?
Urine of another animal, like something.
I go to Daytona Beach and break ribs. I mean, I don't know what I'm going to do on a reservation. So.
Oh man, everyone beware. And I say everyone, I mean the staff. Thank you.
We'll be ready.
Have the release forms ready, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Melissa.
My pleasure.
And now we head over to the Atlantic coast and down Route 95. We go the exits for Orlando. We go past the exits for the Kennedy Space Coast. And we head down to Fort Lauderdale, which is where we were for this convention and near where Jemmy lives.
So we have made it to the Visit Fort Lauderdale phone table, the Hello Sunny table. Go to sunny.org to learn all about Fort Lauderdale, and we are here talking about it with Yvonne McMillan in Fort Lauderdale, of all places. Go figure. Local girl, Yvonne McMillan, and she was just telling us that she's lived all over the world, all over the country, and yet she comes back to Fort Lauderdale because it's her home. So tell us a little bit about Fort Lauderdale. You're getting into the revitalization and how it's going away from, certain reputations of being for retirees and spring break and partying, and it's coming up, is putting on a new skin, so to speak. So tell us about what's going on in Fort Lauderdale these days.
Well, thanks for having me. So as I was telling you, we're really a growing, cosmopolitan, vibrant destination. We have lots of luxury here, new hotels, restaurants, attractions, amenities for those people who really want the luxury experience.
Bill Gates' yacht. Right across the street.
We do have that as well.
Which, by the way, is bigger than most of the hotels.
And yet, I think the yacht next to it is actually even bigger.
Probably.
Jeez.
So if someone wants to have a very luxurious vacation, Fort Lauderdale seems like a great destination for them. What kind of things can they look forward to doing and look into doing while they're here if they want to live a very high-end, luxurious life?
So we have beautiful high-end hotels that are here, some very newly opened hotels right on Fort Lauderdale Beach that are just gorgeous.
You're saying that someone can get a chef to actually cook in their suite?
Yes.
That's crazy.
At the Conrad. You can also get a custom-tailored suit by an Italian tailor in-house.
He flies in from Italy?
No, he's,
okay.
He's based here. He did fly in at one
luxury,
point.
yeah. That's a $12,000 suit right there. Plus expenses.
And, high-end luxury doesn't have to mean that it's, an exorbitant price. We also have, people who are well-to-do who also love to, take a stroll in Las Olas, which is very fun and beautiful and has lots of dining options.
Yeah, explain a little bit about Las Olas Boulevard, because that is such a destination. I remember when I was in high school, for listeners who don't know, I did go to high school in Fort Lauderdale, and we used to like to go out to Las Olas on the weekends and have a good time, but I imagine Las Olas has gone through its own evolution over the years. What's Las Olas like now?
It's lovely. We have all types of restaurants. We also have some bars. So it's great to go for brunch, watch a football game, go out on a date. Over at the further west end of Las Olas, so down towards downtown near the NSU Art Museum, we have a new rooftop bar that is beautiful. It's on the 7th floor, and it's overlooking the New River. And you also see the downtown skyline, which is just beautiful. And it is a gorgeous rooftop lounge where you can get delicious craft cocktails and light bites. So that's something new. It just opened this fall, and it's our first rooftop bar. And there are more to come.
I'm just thinking. Yeah.
When you say New River, and I hope this isn't a dumb question, but what do you mean by overlooks the New River?
So the New River is the river that you see that goes east and west along Las Olas.
So it's just the name of it.
Yes,
it's not literally a new river.
No,
I'm like, what are they like?
have
It's a
many
man-made.
new
I understand. I'm like, I don't
things,
get it.
A new river is not one of our
what
new
Florida
things.
doesn't have enough of is water.
We're just going to add more.
Oh my gosh, I'm so stupid.
So now our show is kind of action-adventure, and I assume that you have a little bit of that here in Fort Lauderdale,
We have
too.
a lot. When is the last time you went on an airboat ride?
Well, actually,
We went on a
last night.
simulated one. Don't think that counts.
Fort Lauderdale. At the museum.
Great. Well, in person, to ride an airboat
Reality.
Yeah,
and
reality.
see the gators like swarm up to the airboat is really cool. Highly recommend.
Oh my god. Wait, do they swarm up like interested in eating you if you fall out of the airboat?
Parasailing, too. I've seen it here.
Yes,
is a big thing.
yes.
Parasailing is becoming huge everywhere. But
Yes, we definitely have that, and snorkeling and diving. And in Pompano Beach, we have some new dive sites, some shipwrecks that are amazing, and also you can see the coral reefs. So, we have something for everyone.
What are some of your favorite things to do?
Yeah, you grew up here.
Yeah. Well, I hadn't done an airboat ride in quite some time, and I did it for the first time in over 15 years just 2 weeks ago. And it's phenomenal. It's really
for
quite
people who
thrilling.
think it's boring, it's not.
No, it's not at all.
It's like a roller coaster on water.
It's a thrilling experience. And then they offer a nighttime tour as well called the Red Eye Tour. So, all the gator eyes are glowing, and it's just a very different experience, which a lot of people don't know about.
Yeah.
We also have dining in the dark at one of our restaurants here, actually near the convention center.
I think I heard about that. Did that opening within the last year?
No, it's been there for a
while.
Has it
been? Okay.
It's a gem. It's called Market
dark?
17. So they have, a normal functioning restaurant that's the main part of the restaurant, and then they have a private room that's completely dark, and the waiters wear night vision goggles. So that's a thrilling experience in itself because, you can't see your hand in front of your face. You are. They do.
Have to,
they encourage you to
because you can't pick it up with your
fork. It ignites all the other senses. So, silverware is optional.
Oh, was that what the whole point of? I was trying to think what the concept was behind it, but I guess to entice your senses
we don't have for dinner tonight. We have to go eat in the dark.
Just keep your clothes on. Wondering if anyone's ever tried
have nice vision goggles. Remember that part?
Night vision, not nice vision. Night vision.
Sure, too. Depends.
We also have Extreme Action Park, which is really fun.
Yeah, we're meeting with them later. I'm excited to hear about that.
Yeah, so they have go-kart racing, bowling, indoor rock climbing, all sorts of stuff. So that's another great adventure-seeking thing that you can do if you're about that.
Where can people find out more?
Sunny.org, of course. We're also very big on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Visit Lauderdale.com.
And now for our last stop on this tour of Florida, we head on Route 1 south, through the Keys, across the 7 Mile Bridge, and to Key West.
Key West is Florida's southernmost paradise, and it's actually located closer to Cuba than to Miami. It's known for its balmy year-round temperatures, picturesque historic architecture, and an anything-goes atmosphere. Dating back to the early 1800s, the tiny island now attracts artists, writers, treasure divers, enthusiastic anglers, and escapees from the everyday world.
So we have made it over to Key West, and it was a great trip out here, man. Yeah. We got here in about 30 seconds.
Yeah, that bridge was short today.
Super short today. And we are sitting here with Laura Myers, and she is from their Visitors Bureau. And she was explaining about all the fun things that you can do in the Keys, which we're really excited about because we're going to be taking a cruise very shortly here, and one of the stops is at the Keys. Yeah. So we came up with a great idea. Laura, can you share our great idea with our listeners, please?
Actually, she helped us with.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, Key West has so many signature things to do, so many signature things to eat, and so many signature things to drink. So come along with us.
Yeah, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to do the signature things of Key West.
Yeah.
Look, we even came up with the name right there.
I know.
Yep.
Signature cocktail, signature key lime pie. We'll figure it out.
And there's some stops, too, that are real signature. Obviously, the obvious ones, right?
The Hemingway House, the Little White House. Key West has so much rich history that dates back to the late 1700s. It has so much literary history. So many artists and writers have been attracted to Key West for hundreds of years.
And there's certain cats that are famous in Key West, aren't there? Like four-toed cats or something like that, right?
The Hemingway House has lots of unusual cats that you have to see to believe.
And the them in the back?
The challenge is not to catch 10 of them. That is not going to be our challenge.
Drinking heavily, or what?
They're very literate kitties.
Nice.
We are so excited, and thank you so much for offering to help us on our trip to Key West next month. We're going to be doing a cruise. We're going to have a lot of friends along, too, on this cruise.
We are.
So there's going to be a lot of us descending on Key West. And
we apologize in advance.
Yeah, so thank you for putting up with us.
Well, we can't wait to see you.
It'll be fun to do a show there, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
What's your website?
Our website is fla-keys.com.
Well, we're here with our wrap-up of our trip around Florida. Now, we're a couple days later, and we're back in the studio because Jemmy, during the middle of the convention, I mean literally the middle of the convention.
The middle of an interview during the convention.
It's true. Caught the convention flu that everybody is getting, and thankfully I have not yet. But yeah, and she couldn't basically talk. So by the end of the convention, she was speechless.
It was really the most ridiculous thing. We sat down to a meet. Now, these were 15-minute meetings. So we sat down for a meeting. I felt fine. And about 2-3 minutes, I started noticing I had to keep stifling a cough. And then by the end of the 15 minutes, it was full-blown ick.
Yeah, it was. Trust me, people.
You can probably hear it in my voice a little bit still.
But she's doing much better. We waited till she was better to record this little wrap up of our episode. You know, this show is dangerous for both of us. I break ribs. You get sick. I mean, we put it all out there for the
And for anybody who doesn't know, I have a bad lung. So if I get the flu, it's like getting instant pneumonia.
Yeah.
It's just awful.
Yeah, we were a little worried about you for a couple days there. I don't want to lose my
really
co-host.
were.
The show
Gosh,
just started. So
no, I'm not going to the hospital. That's your thing, not mine.
Well, we did have a great time at Huddle. We got to meet a lot of really cool people, a lot of which you're going to hear over our episodes in coming months.
Yes, we're excited because this was great. It was an introduction for everybody else into Florida and a whole bunch of fun things around the state. But then it was a nice introduction for us to get to meet all these people who are then going to help us on these future adventures.
And we're already getting help with our Key West adventure, and we want to thank Laura for that. Laura Myers is helping us out, and we're going to talk a little bit more about what's coming up in Key West next month. But she's already, and we met her at the convention, she's already helping us out and helping us get
She came up with a great idea.
Yeah, she actually came up with our adventure for Key West. So, it was great. And we met so many neat people from hotels. We're going to start adding some different element. And we met people who came up with great ideas that we had never thought of before.
And there is a very special show that we are going to have a chance to catch next time we're in Fort Lauderdale. And I don't know who's more excited about it, me or Glenn, but get this, guys. It's aquatic burlesque.
Yes. It's a burlesque mermaid show. And we were supposed to go, but somebody got sick, so we couldn't go.
I know. Christina was so sweet to hook this up. She was going to make it while Glenn was still in town for Huddle. It was going to be, and I got sick. I'm like, I don't think everybody there wants me hacking on them.
I had to miss Naked Mermaids because of you.
Not naked.
Burlesque. Yes.
Topless. But I'm so excited to see it because they actually go under there. No tanks, all training. It's going to be phenomenal when we finally get to go see it. So, a lot of great connections were made during this time.
And we didn't know you lived down there. You didn't know anything about the Naked Mermaid show.
No, and another thing I didn't know about was, I feel like such an idiot every time I say this. I can't believe I'm admitting it on recording, but Crystal River. When we first heard about Crystal River, I said, is that the name of a person or a place? It's like, no.
Kind of sounds like a stripper name, Crystal River.
How am I from Florida and not know what Crystal River is? So that's probably jumped to the top of my list of places I'm excited
That's
to
right
go
over
see.
by us, actually.
Oh, it's going to be so fun. It's the only place to legally swim with manatees. And I can't wait for us to go visit. So all these wonderful places, Melissa from the Billy Swamp Safari. And so many fun things that we didn't even think of before. Now we're going to get to go and do.
Sounds good. Well, we're looking forward to for you to come along with us on our next adventures, and we're planning the whole rest of the year right now. Now, coming up in February, we have a cruise. We're going on a cruise.
Going on a cruise.
It was sponsored by the Horse Radio Network, the Horse Lovers Cruise, and of course, I founded the Horse Radio Network. Jemmy works with us and helps us out, so she's going along. We have 44 of our listeners going as well. So we're going to do some recordings on the cruise, of course. Because you know what? Cruising is the cruising industry is huge in Florida.
And here's another thing I have to admit. I've never been on a cruise. And there is a cruise ship horn in the opener for the network. And I have to properly represent and actually go on a cruise.
You do. You're going to have a blast. We have a lot of fun things planned for that. So we're going to do some recordings along the way, and we'll get some sound for you. And then one of the stops is at Key West, and we're going to do an entire episode on Key West. And thanks to getting the help from that we did from Laura.
She's probably not going to be able to meet us out. She said she might not be able to, but she's going to try, because that would be fun to have her along too.
Laura's a trip. Anybody, of course, that represents tourism in Key West has to be a trip. So.
Please, be a colorful bird for that.
So she came up with the idea of doing, because there's so so many signature things that Key West is known for.
Yeah.
We're calling the episode Signature Key West, and we're going to be exploring all the different signature things from the Hemingway House to the signature drinks to food to water sports to all the different things.
And, everything that makes Key West is such a standout in a lot of ways, you know? And so, it has all these different signature things that everyone's like, when you go to Key West, you have to do this or try that or see that. And I mean, there are roosters walking around everywhere. We haven't figured out what we're doing signature with the roosters yet. There's got to be something there.
Well, they don't lay eggs, so we don't.
Yeah, right.
We can't eat an egg. All right.
No rooster.
But so we're looking forward to bringing that to you next month, and we'll also be doing some Facebook living, I hope, from the cruise.
Yeah, we need to do that.
We will have an internet connection, so we'll be able to do that. So we'll do some Facebook living from the cruise and also Key West.
Don't tell people we have an internet connection, Glenn. There goes our excuse for totally checking out.
Yeah, unfortunately, when you run a radio network as large as ours, you can't ever be checked out. And that includes you. So if you missed some of the past episodes that we've done, if you're a brand new listener, we hope you go back and take a listen. You can find our podcast at any of the place podcasts are found. You're listening to this on a podcast catcher. You can find all the past episodes there as well.
Most recently on Spotify. So now we're on Spotify.
We're on Spotify. And we've had 3 episodes previously. They're a lot of fun. Last one, you get to hear me break my ribs. Literally get to hear me break my ribs. So
my most favorite part.
If you want to check that out, please do. By the way, I'll give everybody an update here quick. My ribs have healed amazingly well.
They really have. You're not wincing or anything.
Coughing, sneezing doesn't hurt any.
No more laugh.
I'm not crying anymore when I sneeze. So
no more whining.
No more whining. So I'm very happy. I'm recovered from that. So
we're glad to see you recovered,
yes.
And no more breaking you, please. Jen will kill me.
We're picking things that don't involve a lot of chances for me to break things at Key West. You, on the other hand, will have a perfect opportunity to do that.
I'm now the guinea pig.
Thank you for joining us, everybody. And here's to your next adventure.
Yay!